Welcome back to my eBay selling journey. We start this episode off with a pretty big win in terms of my store, at least. I had an item that had been sitting there for quite some time. In fact, it was the longest lasting item that was up for sale in my store. And when you know it, last night it's sold, and it's this Batman comic book. I got this in mail time a long time ago. We never really read too much of it, and I thought, well, just like most things, if they're not serving me, I should try to pass them on to someone that could use it. And this one, I didn't think it would ever sell. It's been in there forever, longer than this series has existed, basically. And finally, last night, someone bought it. I sold it for $6.99 plus shipping. So not a win financially, but it's nice to have something exit the store to make a sale, and then hopefully whoever purchase this, hopefully they enjoy it. That wasn't the only thing that sold though. Another win, and this is probably even a bigger win actually. You remember that free Hey Arnold keychain that I got from a free bag that I picked up at a yard sale? And I got the free bag just because I thought this was cool. Well, someone bought this last night for $14.99 with free shipping. I had a feeling. I was like, I think that's cool, and I think somebody out there would enjoy it. And $14.99. Sold that. I, of course, have to pay for shipping on that, so it'll be less than that. And the same thing applies for our last sale that I had to share with you. Of course, a train. We can't have an episode where we don't sell a train. This is Rusty, a recent addition to the store. Sold him for $12.99 with free shipping. I put him lower than the rest of them on there, mainly because he's got no eyebrows. He's a little roughed up. He's a little rusty, if you will. So those are our three sales. I guess the Hey Arnold one, surprisingly. You would think of these items that you see here, you wouldn't think the keychain would be the most valuable, but it turns out that the football head came through. We now go into shipping mode, and to send the book out, I probably could put this just in like a padded envelope or something, but I don't think I have one quite big enough for that, and I want to make sure this gets there without any damage. So we're probably going to use one of these boxes. I have these boxes that are like 12 by 10, and I'm hoping that, oh gosh, I'm hoping that it'll fit in this. I go back and forth as to whether I'm going to document all of the shipping stuff that I do, but when I don't do it, I'm always thinking like, oh, that feels like it's missing. So if you don't like these parts, you can just skip this if you want to. That's quite all right. I like to show how I'm shipping these items, and this actually fits in there really nicely with some extra room at top to spare. We've got some brown paper to fill that up. Probably gonna wrap this in bubble wrap too, just to make sure it's okay. And I like to share how much money I make off of each thing too, just to be transparent about it. And obviously, like, you guys are invested in this with me. In fact, this was purchased by a viewer of the channel. So I like to show every aspect of listing, of hopefully selling, and then of packing, and then the reward, which I guess is the money that you make from all of that effort. You guys will have to let me know. Did I do a better job than Amazon would have done in shipping a book? I like to think so. And then especially once we put all this on top here. Kind of unnecessarily, but why not, right? So you never know if it's somebody that watches the channel, and I certainly don't want to let down a viewer, which I should say, if you do order from me, which people do often, make sure you leave a message on eBay. It's like a buyer's note, and I'll see that and actually read it here as well. If there's anything you'd like to say to the world, or just to me, you can put it as a buyer's note when you buy. They paid more for shipping than they did for the actual item, which is kind of crazy. So let's get shipping label. 3.3. It's going to cost me $7.21. They paid $7.21. We are good. Label printer prints my label, and package 1 is done. For football head, I'm not going to be nearly as cautious with this one, even though it's technically a more expensive item. He'll be just fine and going inside of this. We'll pull this off, and that's the type of stuff I should sell right there. Easy to go out. Arnold, I made $8.27 after shipping and fees. And Batman, I made $4.59, which is kind of sad, but it's the way the book game goes. Last but not least, we got Rusty, who every time I wrap up one of these trains, I feel like I'm making an egg roll or something. You can probably see the similarities. But we'll put some tape on him and get him boxed up, and I'll show you what I earned off of this, which again is not going to be much. Today's not going to be a wildly profitable day, so if you're looking at this like, I guess it takes the thing away if I'm bragging about what I'm earning. No, not the case, because I think by the end of the day I'll make like $15 off of these 3 sales. But to me, again, it's just, this is what I love to do. I think this is so much fun. You might be looking at this like, Greg, are you sure? Yeah, this is good for me. It really is. Let's do a little test fitment here to see if he'll make it in there. And oh yeah, he's just fine. You put him in it like a diagonal there. He's great, especially with some brown paper. Have I mentioned that I love brown paper? I have probably a couple times. I should say this is going out to Wyatt, by the way. Wyatt, thank you for buying my train. Got my label and the thing you're curious about. Let me just show this off. $6.26 after fees. So again, collectively today, as I put this label on here, not a wildly profitable day, but 3 items sold, 3 items out, and I'll take that. I'm happy for that. Here's a funny story for you. Remember that Skylanders bot that I got at the community yard sales for $5? Well, I had a patron reach out to me and asked if I could give him a picture of the figures that are in there because he's looking for some for his collection, and he wanted to see if he could get a hold of them before I put the whole lot on eBay. So I said sure, and I was putting them all out here to get photos. Well, I found a few things in this lot. First thing, which is kind of exciting to me, is that there are some Lego minifigs in here. I thought, wow, that's really cool. And obviously there's the games, there's 2 portals, all these figures and everything. And I thought, wow, that's a really great deal for $5. That wasn't until I saw the bottom of this. This says $20 for whole box, both games. I swear I did not see this. And like, this is in the bottom with all this other junk that's in here. Like, maybe some of this isn't junk. I should probably take photos of this too, just in case he needs any of these things. But they intended to sell this for $20, I think. I think maybe they bought this for $5, or maybe they were going to sell this for $5 and they threw everything in there. I have no idea, but I probably wouldn't have purchased this for $20. But now I feel, I don't know how I feel. Like, I got a great deal now, but I also feel like I kind of ripped them off unintentionally. This is what I saw, and I was like, well, and I was even debating it at $5, which I probably shouldn't have, because I do feel like there's a lot of value here. But it's if I can actually sell these. So I'm hoping my buddy is interested in a few of them. Maybe we can do a deal outside of eBay, possibly save the fees and all that jazz, and then the rest I'll just throw on there. And the minifigs, I'll be keeping. Just did some wheeling and dealing, and we officially have 4 Skylanders sold. Now, if only I could get rid of all these ones, which I think I'll be able to do. I'm going to put them all on eBay as a lot, probably sell these games separately, and these pads the same way as well. I got those 4 Skylanders all packaged up, wrapped up, bubble wrapped. Everything is good with them. 11-ounce box. It's 9 by 7 by 5. All good, right? Well, that is until I found out that he lived in Canada. And as you can see, for me to send this box, it's $26 for shipping. That's not all. It turns out there's also duties, fees, and taxes paid by recipient of $17.97. They're not due now. This is a total fee paid by the recipient upon arrival based on 4 items with a package value of $30 USD. So for him to get 4 Skylanders that he paid $30 for, which is a fair deal, he would have to pay over $40 in shipping and fees. So I messaged him and I was like, dude, this doesn't make any sense for you. So I'm probably gonna end up taking these back out and just putting them on regular old eBay for here in the US. But again, like, for me to send this anywhere in the US, like, this could go to Hawaii and it would probably cost like $6 to $9, somewhere in that range. Isn't that crazy? $40. Unreal. They must not want people shipping internationally. That's the only thing I can assume. As you can see here, I got all my trains all lined up on the table, and I made that video showcasing everything that's in the collection for anybody that wants to make a request of a train that they'd like to see listed on my store. And when you know it, in the comments for that video, we got some. These guys right here all had comments from various people requesting that I list them. And I will say, after I started looking up the prices and posting them, they're kind of expensive, as these wooden trains tend to be. So I'm not going to be offended if you requested that I post one in particular and the price is too much. I totally understand. I just go with what they're currently listed at and what they're currently selling for, and I put my price right along there. So if it's too much, you're not going to offend me if you don't buy it. I'm just happy to have these in the store already, and hopefully as time goes by, if we get more requests on there, I'll keep listing these as well, and along with all the yard sale stuff that I hopefully continue to find too. On Friday afternoon, I went through the grind of listing a bunch of the cheap video games that I found recently at the community yard sales, and when you know it, I actually sold a few over the weekend, including Flight Simulator 95 and 98. I bundled those together, and somebody went ahead and purchased WCW Nitro with Hollywood Hogan and Sting on the cover. But not only that, it wouldn't be a eBay update without some train sales, and we sold a train and a loader. This is Jack and this is Coldy. Coldy and Jack going out today, and these were my only sales from over the weekend. I'm going to save you from the packaging of these things because you've seen it all before, probably in this video even, but I will show you the earnings off of these, which isn't much. WCW sold for $11.99 with free shipping. Coldy was $13.99 with free shipping. Jack was $9.99 with free shipping. And the flight simulators were $9.99 with free shipping. So I might have made maybe $15 to $20 off of all this. I'll let you know when I have them all packed up so you can know for certain, because I always find that interesting. Everything I said in the last clip I take back, specifically the part where I said I'm not going to show the shipping of this because you've seen it before. You haven't seen me ship a CD. Inside here, and I realized this too late, I was just like, oh, maybe they'd want to see this. I bought a bunch of these boxes that all fold up like this, and they're perfect for CDs themselves. So inside here is, actually it's not a CD, it's a PlayStation 1 game. It's that WCW Nitro game, and I put it inside this, and I could probably just slap a label on that, but instead I'm going to put it inside of this, so it'll be kind of like a little protection inside of there. Could I just put it in a box? Would it be less money? I don't know. I'd have to figure out all the costs of these. But speaking of costs, I did get one item packed, and so far the news isn't good. The flight simulators, both games together, $2.92. That being said, I did spend about 50 cents on each of those, and I got like 10 games for $5. So I'm already doing okay there, and if I sell anything more out, should hopefully start turning a profit. But I did want to show this to you because that's what it is, and you can buy these on Amazon if you're trying to ship CDs. And yeah, that's as exciting as it gets this morning for shipping, I suppose. Just got everything packaged up, and as you can see here, my estimate wasn't too far off between the Flight Sim games, WCW Nitro, Jack, and Coldy, who happened to be the win of the day. My earnings after fees and shipping were $18.95. Obviously not my most profitable weekend ever, but I'm certainly not going to let this discourage me. It's just a part of the process. We're going to keep working at it, keep making sales, at the very least, keep listing stuff, which is the thing that's in my control, and I'll keep sharing that whole experience with you. Oh, we almost lost them. They got to go to the post office, by the way, because that's too big to go in the mailbox. Today starts off with some good news in the world of my trains for sale bin. Two of them will be leaving us today, first of which is Paxton. Paxton was sold for $25 on eBay, and not to be outdone, or I guess to be matched, Luke also sold for $25. Again, surprising me just how much these wooden trains in particular sell for. Learning to speak here today as well. Not only selling trains, but learning to speak English. Green trains seem to be doing well on eBay. So both of these will be going out. I would say, without me knowing the specifics based on previous estimates, I'd say I make about $16 off of each one of these. But that's not all. We also sold a freebie that Yami picked up, if I can actually find it. Maybe, I think she paid 50 cents for this. Sold this for, let me see here, I think this was $11.99. Upon confirmation, not only sold for $11.99, but it sold to a viewer. It says, hey Greg, seems to me that you need a little bit of cheering up. First of all, I'm very sorry about Roxy. Thank you very much. She's an amazing dog. Second of all, I just wanted to write you about the positive impact of watching your YouTube channel. So I started watching since 2019. You're what we call a survivor around here. Your vlogs truly made me a better person. I started to spend more time with my family and also enjoying little stuff in life. You are truly my role model. P.S. Could you autogram on the blister? An autograph? Oh boy. You want me to sign that? With best regards, yours -- fan from the Czech Republic, John. John, thank you. Do you really want me to sign this though? Oh geez. Why don't I... How about this? How about instead of signing this, why don't I include a photo that I'll sign? I'll include a photo of Roxy Bear. That way you have one, and I'll sign that. That way I don't ruin your purchase, because I feel like if I sign this, I'd like, I don't know, I don't want to ruin this for you, so I'll give you something extra for buying this. This is actually going all the way across the world. That's incredible. So we got two trains. I don't think these were purchased by viewers, but if you do buy from me, do what John did here and leave a buyer note so I know, because I would love to shout you out and also to send you some free stuff too. Let me send you free stuff. So we got Luke, we got Paxton, we got a NASCAR, and we got John being just awesome. Thank you so much for that lovely message, and also for buying Yemi's NASCAR. As for the packaging of these, I think I'm going to use one of these 6x9 boxes for Paxton since he's a little bit bigger, and I don't want him to get crushed in there, particularly like this part, because on these smaller trains, as you may have noticed in the past, because I share this pretty often, send these out in like it's a 6x6x6, so you can see how kind of tight that is. But there's lots of space in there once you open it up. But I think that'll work for those. I'll probably put this one in a similar box to what Paxton's going out in as well, just so that doesn't get bent, and then we'll put the photo and everything in there too. But I'll show you. Let's get the trains done real quick, and I want to show you the earnings and everything off of those, but we'll get these all packaged up with bubble wrap and hopefully off to their new homes. Here's what the trains look like before I put the paper in here. I usually wrap these up really good so they're not sitting on the bottom. They're kind of just hovering there mid-box, well protected, and I'll do that for both of these trains. Got the trains sealed up and labeled up, and we've got our Hot Wheels NASCAR also boxed up with bubble wrap all around it. But before I seal that up, we've got a photo to go in there, and the photo that I chose is this one from 2019, Roxy Bear in her prime. This is during a photo shoot we did as a family. So that's actually a professional photo that you're getting, and it's signed with a heart and Greg beside it. I'm also sending John a Brickatech sticker. I'm not sure if he watches the Lego channel or not, but it's a cool sticker nonetheless, and you might end up seeing this video before you get it, so a little bit of a spoiler alert here, because it's going to take a while to get all the way over to you, but everything's going out. And speaking of going out, or maybe coming in, here's the earnings from everything we sold today. I'll try to get out of the light here with the camera. Luke, $16.45. Paxton, $16.35. So again, very consistent. About a $25 sale results in about a $5 shipping, and then eBay takes another $4, as they tend to do with their fees. Last but not least, the Hot Wheels NASCAR, $5.44 for a grand total of $38.24, which is a pretty darn good day on eBay, and that makes me happy. Not only sending out trains to people that'll hopefully enjoy them, but this going out to a fan of the channel that can enjoy it as well, and a couple little bonuses too. So thank you, John, for buying those, and mystery buyers out there, thank you guys for supporting my eBay channel. eBay store. That's when you know you got too much stuff going on, when you can't even keep track of your channels and your stores. But this stuff going out from my store to you guys today. Little bonus footage here just so John can see this going in there. Put that packaged with love, as you can see there by the signature, and we'll put that on top. And he's good to go. We just warped ahead to the next day, and we're gonna add one last sale to this episode. Last night sold Harry Potter for Connect, actually going out to a viewer of the channel named Andrew. Andrew purchased this complete for $12.99. He left a nice message for me that said, "From the bottom of my family and my hearts, we're so sorry for the loss of Roxy Bear. We love your channels." And I thought, you know what? If you love both of our channels, I got something that might look a little familiar from the last clip that we did here, but how about a Roxy Bear photo for you? And since you like both channels, I know for certain that you know what this is. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this right inside here. You might get this before the video comes out, or it might be pretty close, because you're right at the very end of the episode here. So I'm going to put that right inside there, and hopefully it'll be a surprise, but if you see it here, just know that we really appreciate you, and I thank you for watching. One thing I always do, I don't know why I do this, I like those right up and down like that, the perfect orientation. So we'll close that up, and I'm going to try to squeeze this into one of these small guys, because I'm running out of the big ones. So let's see if Harry Potter for Connect and Hermione, let's see if they can fit inside here. While I'm doing this, I just want to thank everybody that's been so kind to us over this time with Roxy Bear, and you know, I've really found that the eBay store has kept me busy and keeps my mind off of that, which has helped, and I appreciate you guys coming through and supporting the store. Not to say that you have to. I don't think that you should come through and buy something from me specifically to leave a message, but if there's something that you want from the store, I love a buyer's note if you're a fan of the channel, just so I know. So we're going to seal that up for Andrew and his family. I hope they have fun playing Connect with Harry Potter. I'm actually trying to get Clarkman into the Harry Potter movies. Maybe we'll try that this summer. We got 3.6 ounces on this. This will be our last one, so let's just do the whole thing. You round that up to 4, and I can't remember the measurements of these. It's a little bit smaller. We'll say 9 by, we'll say 7, just to be safe. 971. $4.14 for shipping. I didn't charge anything for shipping because I was keeping the price competitive. we'll print the label and I'll show you what we made here on our last sale of episode 7. Label is on, and you'll just have to take my word for that. In terms of earnings, $6.57, which is pretty darn good. That's going to be my last sale and only sale going out today, which means one thing. The next episode that you see me, I'm going to be listing a bunch of stuff. Hopefully I can start it out with just a whole spread of things that I put on eBay, and then right after that we'll go through the sales process again, hoping that those things sell. But the whole thing is, you know, you get all these sales, and as they roll in, it's great. As I always say, you gotta keep listing. You got to keep the store filled, and that's what I always struggle with, because it's a good problem to have. The sales come in, you got to replenish, and I have a lot of stuff to get on there, especially with the yard sale season. I have the whole office kind of stacked with stuff, so we'll do some listing in the next episode, or at least I'll show you all the stuff I listed, because that's not the fun part. This is the fun part, and then we'll hopefully make some sales and be able to keep this series going. Hope you're enjoying this one. Thank you all for watching this, if you survived this far, and thank you to everybody that has supported our store. Like I said, it really means a lot to me that you not only watch the videos. I say this all the time, but I'll say it again one last time, at least in this episode. It's enough just to watch our videos, but to come over and support our store too. And my hobby here is pretty darn cool. So thank you, Andrew. Thank you, everybody else that bought for me during this episode, which has gone back pretty far now that I'm thinking about it. I hope you have a glorious rest of your day. And of course, we'll see you in the next Greg's eBay Selling Journey episode.